You know, I was absolutely amazed when I was doing the calculations that it's nearly been a year, Rich, since we had you on the radio station talking about the wall of answered prayer. Morning and welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, well, doesn't time fly when you're having fun?
Has it been fun?
Mainly not. No, it's it's really hard work. It's really hard work, and you get these moments of breakthrough, and then it feels like hard work again. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is people who are dipping in and out the story are like, oh, "It's amazing, you're doing so well, and everything's going to plan." And of course, behind the scenes, you're paddling like the duck under the water, aren't you? So, you know, that's the reality of it. But we are, for you and for your listeners, we're in great shape. We recently had the blessing of the land. So we prayed for God to bless the land where we're going to build. We've built the access road. So that's like a mile and a bit road. I mean, it's proper road, Gareth. It's not like a dirt track. It's like a proper
And
professional road,
for those who don't understand how this kind of thing works, even
Yeah,
building a road, a mile-long road, is a pretty
yeah.
big job, isn't it? And an
It's a
expensive one.
yes, it is. It's very expensive. Yeah, it's a seven-figure road. You know,
The
so
seven-figure road. I
yeah,
love the fact
yeah.
that the bank balance was going down, and you were going, "Is that it? We've got a straight piece of road." But for those who don't know,
Well,
go
yeah,
on.
well, yeah. But what's interesting for me is that that when I was praying about the funding for the road and getting in a bit of a panic, I felt God speak to me and say, "Trust in the unseen," which is faith. That's what faith is. Of course, it's trusting in what you can't see. And so I chose to do that. And then a few weeks later, then sat in a meeting where the guy then tells me that God's told him to fund the road, and
It's
just like, oh, sorted. All right, then.
remarkable, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's been a
Remarkable
remarkable journey.
how these things happen. And I don't know about you because, well, we were in a similar situation last year where it was, we'd both taken a bit of a leap of faith, I suppose, really. And your leap of faith, it's costing a lot more money than our leap of faith was.
Mm.
Just tell us. Well, in fact, we need to start off and say what this is all about because there
Okay.
will be people who haven't a clue what we're on about. This is the eternal wall of answered prayer. Now, you may have seen the team at loads of events across the UK. And this is, I suppose, the catchphrase, if you want to do it, is make hope visible. Tell us about this. What is it all about?
So we're building a giant infinity loop. So it's a giant white wall. So it's 2.5 times the height of the Angel of the North. Its sort of circumference is about the size of a football pitch. So it's big, and it's made up of 1 million bricks. And every brick will represent a story of when somebody's prayed to Jesus and he's answered. And people will be able to point their phone at any one of the bricks on the structure, and their phone will light up and it will tell them of the story of hope that lies within that brick. And the concept of it is to create a piece of public art so that people will know that Jesus is alive and answers prayer. And we hope, as a piece of art, that it provokes a conversation across the nation and across the nation for generations, because it'll last a long time, about whether people should consider praying to Jesus.
And this may be the first time that you've ever heard of Coles Hill, but it's a place in Birmingham, and this is where it's going to be, isn't it?
That's right. So it's in between the M6 and the M42, just by Birmingham Airport. And once it's built, we reckon about 800,000 people will see it every week.
An incredible amount.
In terms of traveling past it, yeah.
Now, I know nothing about design, funnily enough. I wouldn't know how you make something stand up like this. But looking on the website, you will have gone through all this. I don't understand how something of that shape will not tipple over because what you've got, when you go to the website, eternalwall.org.uk, you'll see what I mean. Now, it goes very high, but there's only a little bit of it touching the floor.
Correct.
How's this going to work?
Correct. So there's only, if you imagine this infinity loop like an H shape, but it's just got two pieces where it's touching the ground, so it almost looks like it's floating. And yeah, we are pushing the boundaries of engineering, Gareth. And when Snug Architects won the competition, a leading architect said to me that cannot be built. Which, on the journey, it's been a 19-year journey, and there's been lots of times when people have told me that cannot be done. But we've done all the testing, we've employed some of the best engineers in the world, and we know that it can be built and how it can be built. And that's what we're sort of in negotiation on at the moment, so that we can get this thing started.
Nearly 170 foot tall, this is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be visible from the M6 when you're driving past. And loads of people, this is the great thing about it, that loads of people will be asking questions. It's a bit like, now you're from the north, and it's a bit like when you spot Blackpool Tower. And when you see it, there's a story with the kids. Now, your kids are probably a little bit older than mine, so they've heard the story time and time again. But my children always ask, "What's that, Daddy?" And you have to explain what Blackpool Tower is and how it was built. That's what you're hoping for with this, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're pitching it. We're pitching it globally. So for me, the comparison that I like to use is Christ the Redeemer in Rio, because everybody globally knows about that monument. The interesting thing for me is if you Google that, you just find out about some French bloke who built it, And what we are hoping is that when people Google Eternal Wall, they will find a database of 1 million stories of answered prayer, and more than that, hopefully, in the fullness of time. And people will be able to type in whatever storm of life that they're currently going through, and they'll be able to find stories from people who prayed to Jesus in the same circumstance and what happened. And what we're trying to communicate is not a supermarket God that every time you pray, God answers exactly how you like. That's no Christian's experience. But what it will show is sometimes God answers in the suddenlies, sometimes we have to wait, and sometimes the answer's no. What we'll show is that it's a journey, and that Jesus wants to have a relationship with us and go on that journey with us.
How many prayers have you got so far?
36,726.
And you need 1 million, is that right?
Well, we want to start off, Gareth, we're opening in 2026. We want to have at least 200,000 when we open. So the idea is then that we will light up the monument to the degree that we have answered prayers, and then it will keep moving and lighting up as we go. And so that communicates that it's not a dead monument, that it's an ongoing piece of work. And, once we hit 1 million, then we'll go for 2 million. We'll put 2 answered prayers on each brick. So, but the point is, sorry, Gareth, is we really need people's help to send us your answered prayers. And if you can go to eternalwall.org.uk, send us your stories. Tell us what God has done in your life.
I was just about to say, I love technology, and I love the fact that, because I just assumed that you'd have to have the bricks programmed before they go on the structure. But you've just said that that's not the case. So the bricks can be programmed and reprogrammed when you need them to be.
Yeah, so the way that it's going to work is basically we put a digital map over the physical structure. And when you're there, or when you're online searching, because we hope people all over the world will be doing that, it will be able to work out what area of the wall that you're looking at, and therefore give you the data that are represented by that brick. But we've not put any technology on the structure because it'll be out of date by the time we built it.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. So the structure will be techno-free, but actually it'll be the world's first interactive augmented reality landmark.
But you will be able to light it up in different colours. So, you know, when special events happen and you see monuments across the UK, like during the London Games, all of the monuments had flags on and stuff. Presumably you'll be able to do that.
We'll be able to do all of that. We can light it up when Leicester City win the Premiership next time, you know, all of that stuff.
Well, I mean, if they still have bulbs then that may well happen. Who knows? But honestly, this is such an exciting thing. And it's great to hear the developments. Now, you can follow what's going on the social media channels. Of course you can. But the website is where you need to go to. And you can submit your prayers and you can donate to this. You can find out more. There's news. There's ways to contact the team. Basically, everything on the website. Head over there and have a look. It's eternalwall.org.uk. And I did promise you that when the first bricks go down, we will do a live broadcast from there. That's still on, isn't it?
That's still on. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've got, I think so far, about 15,000 members of the public have got stuck in on this project. And, you know, be a part of it. You can tell your grandchildren about it.
It's amazing. Rich, we will be praying for you. And
Thank you.
do you know, it takes a lot for a person to step out in faith like you have and your team as well. We're not talking, you know, £50,000 here. We're talking about many, many millions of pounds, which you and the team work so hard at trying to raise and to get people excited for. So we'll be praying for you, and we can't wait till those first bricks go down.
Great. Thanks, Gareth.